Stage one in your relationship with sugar is where it's a free-for-all and it's unconscious. When you move from stage one to stage two, it's where you've had that aha moment, that insight or that awareness of understanding about, there are some things I need to look at in my relationship with sugar. Now, when you move into stage two, that's where there's this conscious undertaking to have a more conscious relationship with sugar, which for many people is then eating much less of it. And for many people, that stage two entails some form of sugar detox or sugar abstinence, where they're trying to either eliminate sugar completely or drastically reduce how much sugar that they're eating. And this step is often necessary for people, particularly when there is an emotional component to it, where it's driven by an obsession and compulsion. So when you're moving through stage two, that's where the 30-day lift comes in handy, because it is a place of support and guidance and compassion to hold you in that space while you're doing something that might feel difficult, like drastically reducing or eliminating how much sugar you eat. I went through a period of going into a sugar abstinence where I was not eating foods with added sugars. That was a huge grieving process for me because I used sugar to fulfill a lot of my relational and emotional and even physical needs. So sugar was where I went when I was sad, when I was lonely, when I was feeling discouraged, when I needed someone to listen to me, when I needed empathy, when I needed to grieve, when I was feeling angry, when I was feeling frustrated. Through this letting go process of sugar, I did a lot of grieving and acceptance at that time of my addiction. And so like someone who might have an addiction to alcohol or someone who has an addiction to gambling or pornography, I recognized that for me, sugar was something I needed to restrict and I needed to have an abstinence from it. During that time, I went through a phase where I was abstinent from sugar. When you're going through a transition and growing into new relationships and new ways of relating to sugar, it can feel challenging in the beginning, like anything. And so when you're going through that kind of transition, what can be helpful is having somebody alongside you. So I created a 30-day program for sugar, the 30-day lift, with that intention and that idea in mind, that together we can do hard things. And so I think about times in my own life where I've gone through real challenges and areas of growth and healing, that there were all kinds of people that were helping me through that journey. It's not something I did alone. And that it was through those loving relationships and through their encouragement and their holding that I was able to change and heal and grow. And that is what is built into the 30-day lift. It goes beyond the book. There's actually, I coach you each day. So it's like having a friend at your side each day with a message, who is encouraging you and supporting you, who's there to validate all the emotions that arise. So it offers that holding container so that the journey feels both more normal. I normalize a lot of it. Like, this will probably happen to you. And then people go, oh, so it's not just me. All right. And there's a real openness and understanding that makes room for all the feelings and experiences that arise. So if there's a day where you're feeling really resistant or really frustrated, or if there's a what the hell part of you that says, I just want to eat whatever the hell I want, there's an audio for that. And the audios come from this place of inclusion. Because what we try to do with sugar sometimes is all those inner voices that talk to us about sugar, whether it's saying we're craving sugar, whether it's talking about feeling deprived, whether it's talking about feeling angry, those voices inside of us can feel so frustrating and maddening at times. They can also be contradictory, so we can have a part of us saying, I really want to eat the sugar, and a part of us saying, I don't. And so what I talk about in the 30-day lift is how to relate to all those different parts of you. And rather than thinking about the more troublesome parts as parts that we have to eliminate and cut out, as if we're hiding them in a closet or kicking them outside the circle, I take an integrative approach where you just widen the circle. So there's a place of deep invitation and belonging where whatever shows up for you on your sugar journey, it's welcomed, it's okay, there's no shame in it, it's normal, and it's embraced. And so there's a relief that comes from that, because then you're not fighting against yourself, trying to silence those voices or trying to overcome them or trying to control them. And so even more than eating less sugar, what I hear from people about their journey through the 3-day lift is, I am so much more compassionate with myself. And the way I talk to myself is much more gentle, much more merciful, much more lighthearted. There's a levity, some of the anxiety and the urgency that can arise about sugar, this sense of, I have to make this go away, or I have to fix it right now, that softens. And so there's a levity, and there's a possibility there.